I should have let the call go to voicemail. That's the truth. After 3 years of being talked down to, overworked and reminded that I was replaceable, I had every reason to ignore her. Especially at 2 a.m., especially when my 8-year-old daughter was asleep down the hall and I finally had a quiet night to myself. But when my phone lit up with Victoria Winters for the 5th time, something in my chest tightened, and then the text came. Please help. I'm in trouble. You have to understand something about her. Victoria wasn't the kind of woman who said please. She issued orders. She cut people down with polished smiles. She made grown men nervous in meetings. And she made my life very difficult after my wife walked out, and I had to become both mom and dad to Lily. So when I opened my apartment door and found her standing there, mascara smeared, heels in her hand, pride completely shattered, I almost didn't recognize her. She was crying. Not angry crying. Broken crying. I didn't know where else to go, she whispered, and I felt something shift inside me, because this was the woman who once told me my daughter's school recital was poor planning. This was the woman who denied my flexible schedule request without even looking at me. Yet here she was, on my doorstep, vulnerable, human. I shouldn't be here, she said, swaying slightly. You probably hate me. I didn't answer right away. Part of me did resent her, I won't lie to you. But another part of me saw something else. Loneliness, the kind that doesn't show up in boardrooms. Come inside, I said quietly. That was my first mistake. Or maybe it was the beginning of something I never saw coming. Because what happened the next morning, she didn't pretend to forget, and that's when everything changed. I shouldn't have noticed how small she looked sitting on my couch, but I did. Victoria Winters, the woman who ran a marketing empire like a battlefield general, now curled into the corner of my worn gray sofa, clutching a throw pillow like it was armor. I'm not drunk, she murmured. You're very drunk, I said gently. And for the first time in 3 years, she didn't argue with me. I brought her water, aspirin, a blanket, basic human things. The kind she never allowed herself to need. She watched me like I was confusing her. Why are you being nice? She asked, voice raw. I've made your life miserable. That landed harder than she knew, because it was true. Late nights, missed dinners, Lily asking why Daddy couldn't come to movie night again. But I looked at her then, really looked. Her hands were trembling. My mom died today, she whispered suddenly. 5 years ago, same night, and something inside me softened in a way I wasn't prepared for. Grief doesn't care how powerful you are. I'm sorry, I said. And I meant it. Silence settled between us. Heavy but not hostile. She leaned back, eyes glossy. I used to be different. There it was. Not arrogance. Regret. And for a second I saw the woman she might have been before pain hardened her. When she swayed, I instinctively reached out, steadying her by the waist. It was automatic, protective. Her breath caught. So did mine. That's when I felt it. Not love. Not even attraction exactly, but awareness. Too close, too human. I stepped back first. You should rest, I said quietly. She nodded, but her fingers brushed mine before letting go. And I swear to you, she held on a second longer than necessary. That small contact did something dangerous, because for the first time, I wasn't looking at my boss. I was looking at a woman who didn't want to be alone. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to be the one she leaned on. I carried her to the guest room because she could barely walk straight. That alone felt surreal. Victoria Winters didn't lean on anyone, but that night, she leaned on me. Her hand rested against my chest as we moved down the hallway. Not intentionally, just trying to steady herself. Still, I was very aware of it. Too aware. You smell like soap, she mumbled. I almost laughed. That's us good? She gave a tired half smile. It wasn't sharp. It wasn't strategic. It was soft. And that did something to me I wasn't ready for. When I helped her sit on the edge of the bed, she looked up at me in a way I'd never seen before. No authority, no edge, just open eyes. Do you ever hate me? She asked. The question wasn't defensive. It was fragile. I hesitated. There were nights, I admitted quietly. When Lily was asleep and I was still working on revisions you didn't even read. Yeah, I did. She flinched. That hit her. I don't know how to stop being like this, she whispered. Work is the only place I don't feel empty. There it was again. Loneliness. But this time it didn't feel like a crack in her armor. It felt like a wound. I pulled the blanket over her shoulders. You don't have to figure that out tonight, I said. She reached for my wrist before I could step away. Why did you come for me? She asked. Because it was the right thing to do would have been the safe answer. But the truth? Because I know what it feels like to be alone in a room full of people, I said. Her grip tightened slightly. Our eyes locked. Something shifted, not dramatic, not reckless, just real. And for a second, I wondered if helping her tonight was going to complicate everything tomorrow, because people like Victoria didn't stay vulnerable. They woke up and rebuilt their walls. The question was, would she remember letting me see behind them? I didn't sleep much that night. Not because I was worried about her, because I was worried about me. At 6:12 a.m., I heard movement in the kitchen. Cabinet doors opening, closing. Soft footsteps. For a second, I thought maybe she'd slipped out quietly. That would have been easier. Cleaner. But when I walked in, she was standing at my stove, still in last night's clothes, hair down, holding Lily's pink cereal bowl like it was fragile crystal. "I didn't know where your coffee was," she said without turning around. Her voice was steady, not slurred, not broken, composed. That scared me more. "It's above the microwave," I answered carefully. She nodded once, efficient, controlled. The Victoria I knew was back, or at least, almost. Then she turned around, and she looked straight at me. "I remember everything," she said. No pretending, no convenient amnesia. Everything, the way she said it wasn't threatening. It was intentional. A choice. Something in my chest tightened. "You don't have to," I started. "I do." She set the spoon down. "I remember you carrying me. I remember what I said. I remember. How kind you were." There was something different in her eyes now. Not weakness, not authority, gratitude, and something warmer beneath it. Lily's bedroom door creaked open just then. "Daddy?" she called sleepily. Victoria froze. For a split second, I saw fear flash across her face. Not of me, of being seen in my world. Lily shuffled into the kitchen, rubbing her eyes. And stopped. She stared at Victoria, then at me, then back at Victoria. "Is she staying for breakfast?" Lily asked. The air shifted. Victoria looked at me like she wasn't sure what role she was supposed to play. Boss? Stranger? Mistake? And that's when I realized something dangerous. I didn't want her to leave just yet. I should have said no. I should have kept the lines clear, professional, safe. But when Lily looked at Victoria and asked, "Is she staying for breakfast?" I didn't correct her. Victoria glanced at me, almost asking permission. "Yes," I said quietly. "She is." That single word changed the air in the room. Lily patted closer, studying Victoria the way only children do. No filters, no politics. "You look different from your picture on Daddy's laptop," she said. Victoria blinked. Different? Good or bad? "Less scary," Lily answered honestly. I braced myself. Instead of snapping, Victoria laughed. A real laugh. Soft, surprised, almost shy. "I'm trying very hard to be less scary," she admitted. That did something to me. Because she didn't defend herself. She didn't correct Lily. She accepted it. We ate quietly at first. The clink of spoons against bowls. Morning light spilling through cheap blinds. Victoria sat at our tiny table like it was foreign territory. But when Lily started talking about her upcoming science project, something unexpected happened. Victoria leaned in, asked questions, listened. Not the way executives listen, waiting to speak. The way someone genuinely interested listens. "You could build a volcano model," Victoria suggested. "But maybe add a story to it. Make it about pressure and release." Lily's eyes lit up. "Like feelings?" Victoria paused. "Yes," she said softly. "Exactly like feelings." Our eyes met over the table. There it was again. That awareness, that spark. But underneath it, doubt. Because this wasn't simple. She was still my boss. The woman who controlled my paycheck. The woman who had cost me moments with my daughter. And yet watching her smile at Lily, I saw someone else. Someone who didn't want to go back to being alone. When she stood to leave, Lily hugged her without hesitation. Victoria stiffened at first. Then slowly, she hugged back. And something told me this morning wasn't just a memory. It was the beginning of something neither of us had planned for. Monday morning felt like walking into a courtroom. I expected distance, coldness, a silent agreement that Friday night never happened. That's how power protects itself. But when I stepped off the elevator, the entire office was already whispering. Because Victoria Winters was standing at my desk, holding 2 coffees. "Good morning, Mark," she said evenly. Black, 1 sugar. My heart did something I didn't like. In 3 years, she'd never remembered how I took my coffee. Not once. "Thank you," I replied carefully. This had to be temporary. Gratitude fades. Ego returns. That's how people work. "Can you come into my office for a minute?" she asked. Not ordered, asked. Inside, she closed the door softly. No sharp movements. No dominance. Just quiet. "I meant what I said," she began. "I remember everything." I stayed standing, safer that way. She noticed. "I've been unfair to you," she continued. Professionally, personally. That word hung there. Personally. She moved around her desk and handed me a folder. Inside was a promotion proposal. Senior Creative Director. Flexible hours. Salary increase. Autonomy. I stared at it. You don't owe me this, I said slowly. I'm not paying a debt, she replied. I'm correcting a mistake. Her voice wasn't defensive. It was sincere. That made it harder. Why now, I asked. Her eyes held mine. Because I saw who you are when you had every reason to walk away. There it was again, that spark. But now it carried weight. Power shifting. Lines blurring. This doesn't change the fact that I work for you, I reminded her. No, she said quietly. But it changes how I see you. Silence. Charged. Complicated. As I reached for the folder, our fingers brushed. Neither of us pulled away immediately, and that was the moment I realized something dangerous. This wasn't just about gratitude anymore. It was becoming something neither of us could control. I told myself the promotion was just business, nothing more. But that lie didn't last long. 3 days later, Lily came down with the flu. High fever, pale face, the kind that makes your stomach drop as a parent. I sent Victoria a quick message. Working from home. Lily's sick. I expected a short reply. Instead, 10 minutes later, my doorbell rang. And when I opened it, there she was. No power suit, no heels, just jeans, a soft sweater, and a paper bag in her hands. I brought soup, she said awkwardly. My mother's recipe. My chest tightened at the mention of her mom. You didn't have to do that. I know, she answered. I wanted to. That difference mattered. Inside, she moved slowly like she didn't want to disrupt anything. Lily shuffled out wrapped in a blanket. Her eyes widened. It's the dragon lady, she croaked. I almost died on the spot. But Victoria didn't freeze. She knelt down to Lily's level. I'm working on retiring that title, she said gently. Lily studied her, then nodded. Okay, you can be assistant dragon. Victoria laughed. Soft, real, and something in my apartment felt warmer. Later, when Lily fell asleep on the couch, Victoria stayed. She washed dishes without being asked. Sat at my tiny kitchen table like she belonged there. You make it look easy, she said quietly. What? Loving someone that much. I looked at her. You don't? Her eyes dropped. I don't know how to do it without losing myself. There it was. Fear. Raw and honest. You don't lose yourself, I said carefully. You just let someone see you. She looked up at me then, and this time the silence wasn't awkward. It was charged. I'm not good at this, she admitted. Neither am I said. Our hands met on the table. Not accidental this time. Intentional. And for the first time, I wasn't thinking about office politics. I was thinking about how close she was, and how much I didn't want her to pull away. I should have moved my hand first. I didn't. Neither did she. Our fingers stayed tangled on that small kitchen table, like we were both waiting for the other to panic. This is complicated, I said quietly. It wasn't rejection. It was reality. She nodded. You work for me. And you're not exactly known for dating employees, I added. A small smile tugged at her mouth. I'm not known for dating anyone. That landed heavier than it should have. There was history in that sentence. Lonely history. I pulled my hand back gently, not because I wanted to, but because I needed to think clearly. I won't risk Lily, I said. Her expression shifted immediately, softened. You shouldn't, she replied. No hesitation, no offense. She comes first. That right there did something to me. Because she didn't argue, didn't compete, didn't position herself. She respected it. I don't want to make your life harder, she continued. I've done enough of that. There was guilt in her voice, but also something else. Hope. And that was the dangerous part, because I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe people could change, that walls could come down without everything collapsing. I don't know what this is, I admitted. Neither do I, she said. But I know it's not just gratitude. Our eyes locked, and this time the air between us felt different, not tension. Possibility, but possibility comes with risk. My phone buzzed on the counter, an email notification. From HR, subject line, updated reporting structure approval. I frowned and opened it. Victoria had officially changed the department hierarchy. I no longer reported directly to her. There were layers now. Protection, distance, professional boundaries rebuilt, intentionally. I looked at her. You did this today? She nodded once. If we're going to explore whatever this is, she said softly, it won't be because I have power over you. That wasn't impulsive. That was thoughtful. And suddenly I realized something terrifying. She wasn't acting on emotion. She was choosing me. The question was I brave enough to choose her back? I didn't answer her right away. Because choosing her didn't just mean dating my former boss. It meant risking stability. For Lily, for the life I rebuilt from scratch. You didn't have to change the reporting structure, I said carefully. I did, she replied. I won't let you ever wonder if you're obligated to me. That word hit. Obligated. She understood the weight of power. And she removed it, not for optics. For me. For us. Lily stirred on the couch, mumbling in her sleep. Both of us turned toward her instinctively. That shared movement, it felt natural. Too natural. I'm not good at soft things, Victoria admitted quietly. I'm good at strategy. At control. But this? She exhaled. You make me want to try something without knowing the outcome. That vulnerability wasn't dramatic. It was steady, and steady is harder to fake. I'm scared, I told her. Of me? No, I shook my head. Of needing someone again. There it was. My truth. After my wife left, I built my world small on purpose. Safe. Predictable. No emotional earthquakes. Victoria moved closer. Not touching. Just close enough to feel her warmth. I don't want to replace anything, she said. I want to build something new. Slowly. Carefully. With Lily in the center of it. She wasn't asking for a whirlwind. She was asking for patience. For presence. For partnership. My chest felt tight in a way that wasn't fear anymore. It was hope. And hope is dangerous when you've been disappointed before. Okay, I said finally. One word. But it carried everything. Her eyes searched mine. Okay, she repeated softly. We try, I clarified. Slow, honest, no secrets. She smiled. Not triumphant, relieved. Then Lily coughed and the moment broke. But as Victoria stood to leave, she paused at the door. Mark, she said quietly. Yes? This time, I'm not running from the hard parts. And something in her voice told me she meant it. The only question left was whether life would let us have this chance. Or test it. Life didn't wait long to test it. 2 weeks after we decided to try, rumors started spreading at the office. Whispers in hallways. Lingering looks when we walked out of meetings separately. Someone had noticed the reporting change. Someone had connected dots. And then HR requested a meeting. I felt that old fear rise in my chest. Not for me. For Lily, stability matters when you're a single parent. Inside the conference room, the head of HR folded her hands neatly. There have been concerns raised, she said carefully. About favoritism. About conflict of interest. I stayed calm, because this was exactly why I had hesitated. Victoria spoke before I could. Our relationship began after structural changes were approved. She said clearly. Mark's promotion was performance-based, and documented long before any personal involvement. Her voice was steady, not defensive, not sharp, professional, and proud. But then she did something I didn't expect. If there's still concern, she added, I'm willing to step back from executive oversight of his department entirely. My head turned toward her. Step back? That would mean less control, less influence, a sacrifice. For me, after the meeting I pulled her aside. You don't have to give up power to prove something, I said. She looked at me steadily. I'm not proving anything, she replied. I'm choosing what matters. That hit differently, because she wasn't fighting to protect her image. She was protecting us. Later that evening, we sat on a park bench while Lily chased pigeons in the fading light. Are we in trouble? Lily asked suddenly. Kids always know. Victoria knelt in front of her. No, she said gently. We're just learning how to be brave. Lily nodded like that made perfect sense, and as I watched them together, something settled inside me. This wasn't reckless. It wasn't impulsive. It was built on second chances, on honesty, on choosing each other when it would be easier not to. Victoria reached for my hand. No hesitation, no fear. I'm not pretending to forget, she said softly. Not the night you helped me. Not this. I squeezed her fingers. Good, I answered, because neither was I. And this time, we weren't building walls. We were building something real,